What's up, folks? What's going on? This is CEO of MFR Seasons and Sauces. And if you're not doing nothing on Sundays at 6 p.m., you gotta check out The Man Cave. I approve this message, and I'm on my way. Check them out every Sunday, 6 p.m. The Man Cave. Yeah.
To the men that just came home from jail and said no matter what the circumstances is, I'm never going back. Shout out to the men that said I'm tired of neglecting my children, I'm stepping up and being a man for my children, teaching them morals, honor, responsibility. Shout out to the men that say, you know what, I'm tired of sleeping on that couch, I'm tired of using my mother, I'm tired of using that girl, I'm going to step up and be a man for me. Shout out to the men that just graduated from college or going to college. Shout out to the men that graduated from trade school. Shout out to the men that say, yo, I'm just tired of being tired and I need to make a change. Shout out to the men that stayed there, that's raising their children. Shout out to the men that's getting married or want to stay married. Shout out to the men that's taking care of children that's not biologically theirs. Shout out to the men that's trying to figure it out. Shout out to the men because you are a beautiful soul. Shout out to the men that's just being a part of everybody's life to make a change, man.
Welcome to another edition of the Man Cave, where we give our opinion on just about everything. Man, today is a special day because it's 7 days away from Father's Day, Christmas Part 2. And we want to talk about some issues that goes on with, men and fathers and just men in general. And that would be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And that would be June. Joining us on the podcast to talk about that is not two guys that are no strangers to the podcast. My brother, the brother down the street that you better not step on this grass because he will beat you. Look, brother Brad, the entrepreneur, the clergyman, the dad, the husband. Welcome to the show, brother Bradley Williams.
What's going on? What's going on?
Not much, man. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And also in the house is my cuz, man, my little brother, my brother with so many kids that he could have had the Jackson 5. He is our family's Joe Jackson. Joe, my little baby cuz, Damon. What's up, cuz?
What's up, cuz? Yeah, man.
No, you ain't got the most.
I'm gonna start with this reappropriating the earth joke that you got.
Hey, you ain't even got the most kids in the family.
That's what I was just going to say. Not by a long shot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so look, today we are going to talk about men. I can hear myself. Somebody
Yeah, you got the feedback.
Yeah. So somebody's got to adjust. You probably turn your sound down.
Yeah, better.
Nope. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Oh, no, it's not. Well, we gonna keep moving.
Okay.
I think that's you, Damon. But
okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're talking about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and the reason we're talking about this is because I saw an interview with Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaquille O'Neal said he doesn't cry, which I think is a lie, because when Kobe died, he cried. When he won his first championship, he cried. and all this public crying, and then he says he doesn't. And then on this interview, he said, I wasn't crying, my eyes leak. I was like, okay, brother. And it got me to thinking how he is masking his feelings and keeping this stuff in because he said he don't have time to cry. And I thought that's a crock, because we all have feelings. We all need to not exasperate our feelings, but speak these feelings out, or you'll be a bundle of frustration and it'll come out in another way, probably violence, probably substance abuse, some kind of other malady that will happen because you are keeping the toxins in. And so my thing about fathers and, you know, being a father, it brings all that in. You know, we all have kids, right? We all have kids, and we all went through several different phases of our children. And some of those phases bring a whole lot of frustration for us. And sometimes you can't just tell the kids, hey, kid, stop doing this because you're causing frustration. You just got to ride this thing out till that thing is done. But it doesn't help up here of the stuff you got to go through. So that's why I brought you two brothers on, because I want you guys to kind of share how you guys dealt with being dads and what you did during these processes. I know, Damon, you know, you went through a whole bunch of things with some surgeries, not particularly for you, and I don't know if I'm throwing your business out there, but that had to been hard on you, and at the same time still be that dad, man. So, and how did you deal with having to do that and take care of everything else you had to take care of? Because look at you and always talking to you and how you smile and joke doesn't even show the crack. But me being your cousin and me being a dad myself, I know there was some stress on you. So how did you deal with that? How did you combat that?
That's a loaded question, yet a good one. Initially, if I can be honest, I didn't. I did a lot of internalizing and trying to, how do we say, man up and do it.
Yeah,
that term is always used. You got to man up. You got to do this, you know. And sometimes manning up can be taken totally out of context. Mm-hmm. It don't necessarily mean you got to beat your chest and do everything by yourself. That's not necessarily true. So I took it from that standpoint because a lot of the men in our family were tough guys. They wore their heart on their sleeve. They hustled. They did what they had to do, what they felt they had to do, you know, regardless of the fact. And a lot of times they didn't ask for help. And growing up under that, it was like, I need to take that blueprint. But I found out as I got older and manhood rose from fatherhood to husband, and then with the vows through sickness and health, it was a lot that was on me that I wouldn't let anybody know, that in turn made me into a person I really didn't want to be. Yeah. And what I mean by that is I'm holding stuff in, I'm stressing, and I'm not allowing it to come out. And when it doesn't come out, it festers into something else. Anger, wrath. It turns into something else that has nothing to do with what I was stressing about. Yeah. So now I'm taking that out on people who did absolutely nothing to me. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So it was initially a tough thing to go through, because I felt like I gotta do this. No matter what, I gotta do this. I can't ask anybody. And one of the biggest sins for a man, let me say this, for me, is pride. Pride is the downfall of a lot of things that we try to do because we too proud to ask for help, or we too proud to cry. We too do. I remember a while ago, I had posted on Facebook. I say, fellas, is it all right for a man to cry? And all my friends, except two of them, was like, you got eyes, don't you? You got feelings. It's okay for a man to cry. Who told you it wasn't? One of my college buddies was like, I don't know where this tough guy syndrome come from. We were put on this earth to have feelings. We not androids.
Yes. And that's what we go get into that, because that's cultural. That is American culture. You know,
it is. It's bad. It is bad here too. So I saw that same interview, and the first thing came to my mind was Shaq cried like a baby when he found out Kobe died. He couldn't stop crying.
Yeah,
he cried like a baby. And I'm saying, if a 7 foot, 340-pound man can let his emotions out like that, why can't I? You know, that's to me, I have mad respect, more respect for him because he let that out. So going back to the question, dealing with that type of stuff, dealing with what a man has to deal with, and got to put on this persona, this Captain America, Thanos type attitude where you indestructible, and you can do this, and you ain't got to worry about it. Nah. So I end up getting college buddies of mine, and one of my college buddies called me, and he in Georgia. He called me and said, "I need your help." And like, what's going on? What's going? Got a drinking problem, and he said, "I need somebody to talk to. I don't have nobody to talk to, and I know I can talk to you." That's what opened my eyes.
Yeah.
So when we were talking, and that was in COVID, and he was calling me. He was like, "Man, this is driving me crazy." So he ended up getting the help. To this day, he always tell everybody, if it weren't for my partner in Detroit, I would have never checked into a rehab. I would have never checked into a mental health facility. I would never did that. So when he did that, that opened my eyes. Like, okay, I can't do it. If he can come to me with an issue and he manning up to do what he need to do, because I consider that manning up too. When you be vulnerable, that is manning up.
Yeah, and see, it was coming out in alcoholism. He's trying, and see, the alcoholism made him contact you to do what he should have did before the alcoholism, was to talk it out. Brad, what about you? Because you know, we're in the same boat. You know, we've been married a couple of times, and you know, even going through divorces, man, it causes that strain on you. You know, when somebody's don't know you, is about to tell you how much you finna pay and this and that and other, and don't know the circumstance. Tell me how you dealt with that. How did you deal with the strain of just being a man in a culture where it's sissified to talk about their feelings?
Well, I've always been outspoken up front from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. I always tell people I don't have migraines, I don't have any stomach ulcers, I sleep good and I eat good because I get that stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling my sons, you have to learn how to stand in the middle of the room and say, this is what it is. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I said. And never mind nobody's feelings being hurt. Because we as men have to find an outlet.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Lift the weights, going for walks, going fishing, playing golf. We need something. I mean, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, reading your Bible, grab a scripture, an hour, or read a chapter a day. Something.
Yeah.
Something to keep you at peace, because my mind wanders. What if I've always been the worst scenario guy? You know, that's always been me. So I figure, nope, I'll say this if this happens, I'm gonna do this if this happens. So keep that under subjection. I get say what's going on in your mind, because if you don't, you're gonna implode. You know, you will implode, and then we're no good to nobody. You know, they'll never be able to say, well, you didn't tell me how you felt. No, I told you, you just weren't listening.
Yeah. I hear you.
You know, this is what I mean. You know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's great. Chris Rock had the quote of the century in one of his stand-ups. He said, only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally.
Yep.
Men are loved for what they provide. And dog it if he wasn't right, man. Because if you look at it, if a man hits the he kind of loses his job or whatever, hits the skids, he's devalued because he can't provide. a woman could hit the skids, and I'm not dogging women here. I'm just saying this is the culture of America, and we are built to provide. But sometimes when you lose your job, it's just not your fault. And you just got to claw back up and do what you got to do. But while you're clawing back up, you're viewed as nobody. It's kind of like that movie Will Smith did, the Pursuit of Happiness. When he was poor with his son and he was sleeping on the public bathroom floor holding his son, nobody cared about him. But when he got rich, they made a movie about him. You know, so that kind of thing makes a man feel like I deserve to be loved, I deserve to be respected, but I'm not because I can't provide for you. You know, and that's unfair, and that causes stress on the mental. You know, there's women. I mean, I'm not dogging women. I'm just saying there was a guy I know who was bamboozled about a baby, and it really kind of messed with him. Like, are you trying to tell me this is not my child?
But that's to me witchcraft on a whole nother level.
Yeah. But it resulted in him having to make sure he stayed together, because I'm sure his mind was going in a whole bunch of different directions. Now, what he did was found a craft. He found a career that he poured all that energy to. Everybody's so proud of him. We love him. But that was his outlet. I mean, I'm glad he didn't turn to anything illegal or anything illicit or anything like that. But he found a way to release it, which was great. But a lot of brothers don't. And they turn to beating up women. They turn to alcoholism. They turn to drugs. They turn to a lot of things because they don't get it out. So that's why I was asking both of you guys, how did you get it out? Because I tell you mine, but I want to hear yours. How did you, like Brad, when you got 3 sons and a daughter, right? And I'm sure they went through their stage, and then their mothers went through stages and all that stuff. And there was a time where you were looking for work. And how did that strain? How did you said you're an outspoken person, but it didn't stop your drive to find work. In fact, you not only found work, but you went entrepreneur.
Right.
So, but you did what you had to do. But in the meantime, it's keeping that helmet on, man. It's keeping those thoughts from entering. How did you navigate through that situation?
Well, those thoughts are going to enter.
Yeah.
There's no way around it because we're human.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have, my dad comes to mind,
Yeah.
Watching my dad all these years, he always told me 2 things. If you don't work, you're going to steal.
You said what?
If you don't work, you're going to steal.
Ah, okay.
And I watched my dad. Now, my mother had a master's degree from the University of Michigan. My dad didn't go to college.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad took care of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he always told me, you will understand one day when you become a father.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all the advice I got. But I watched him. That was enough.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is the opposite of me. He's quiet, unless I did something back then. But
mm-hmm.
but it was. I'm not gonna say it was easy.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
But, and I'm gonna bring up this friend of the court thing. Going downtown watching other cases. Oh, that's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
And they would treat you so subhuman down there.
Yes, they do.
But I had enough within me. No, who are you talking to? That's not me. Whatever you get done saying, if it wasn't for me or the rest of us, you wouldn't have a job.
Yes. Okay, so in that on that topic, Brad, and you're right, they treat you so subhuman. They treat you like you are the worst person in the world. Like whatever they are saying about you is absolutely true. And the judge will tell you, oh, you guys can't agree on nothing. You guys are going to mediation and he's going to pay for it. That, just is this slavery or what? When I went through that, I went through this little mental thing where I had to keep it together, but I kept asking, why are you treating me like this? And why are you not letting me talk? So this is the story I always tell, and I tell the story because it's the truth. I had to go down there 4 times for the same thing for them to hear me one time. And the one time they heard me, they changed everything. It's like, but you could have heard me the first time. So imagine me getting thrown out of court 3 times. What that was doing. Like, I didn't feel like, and so when I got thrown out the 3rd time, I was thinking, what's the use of going the 4th time? But I'm glad I went the 4th time because that's what hurt me. And they changed everything around. I mean, child support was dropped and she started paying me child support. But you could have heard that the first time. Why are you so biased? But I'm telling you guys that was such a strain on me that when I did that, when I was going through that, I was thinking all kinds of stuff. And like you said, Damon, my kid would come up to me and say, "Hey, Dad, can I?" And I'm like, what? And it wasn't their fault. It was just, I'm dealing with this.
Right.
And they were so little, I cannot explain to them, this is what I'm going through, man. I mean, I was going through that so much, my head would get hot. I would feel my ears getting hot.
It's like an active volcano waiting to erupt.
Yes.
It's like Mount Vesuvius high, and when the aftermath utterly destroys everything in its path. But you being poked and poked and poked and poked and poked, and you're trying not to really. A lot of men, even most outspoken men, have a tendency they try not to say something to hurt because they know they can, and they know sometimes the truth hurt, and you don't want to hurt the person. But if you keep poking that man, and he's going through already, you're gonna unleash. He's gonna unleash something on you that you don't want, and usually 9 times out of 10, he don't want it.
Yes,
he don't want to do it. But it's so much, like you said, your head is hurting, it's pounding. You feel that stress in the back of your neck. You it's like a doomsday button. Somebody pushed it and just like boom, and it ain't even the person that actually started. Case in point, your wife took you to court 3 times. Ex-wife, I should say.
I took her to court 3 times.
Okay, well, okay, let's flip it. Okay, so you took her to court 3 times, and those 3 times that you were denied, it's like, what's going on? So if little Aaron come and ask you something, it's not that you thinking about something else. Dad, can I go ride my bike? Not right now, because you're not thinking about what he asked you. You're thinking about everything else, and you're trying to get a way to figure it out, and you don't want to be bothered.
Yes.
So you explode on people, kids, wife, whoever is around you, and they looking at you like, well, I didn't do it. What's going on? And then there's the point of when they ask you what's going on, a lot of times we say nothing. And they know something is wrong. It's like there was a time when we grew up, and I know I'm the baby of the 3, but there was a time when we grew up. I give you an example. My grandfather, Daddy's father, didn't say nothing. That man went to work, came home, paid the bills. Granddaddy didn't talk about his feelings. Man, he talked about his feelings till he found out he had cancer, and he died 3 weeks later. He never talked about anything. Granddaddy found out he had cancer, colon cancer. It spread to his kidneys. 2 weeks later, he was gone. He told us he had cancer. He told us he had cancer. And Daddy took it hard because he was the baby, and him and Granddaddy was super close. They stayed right around the corner of each other. We could walk to each other's houses. So he would check on Grandma and Granddaddy. Granddaddy had to take care of Grandma and all that stuff he had to do because Grandma was getting sick, dementia. She didn't know what was going on. So you factor that with him finding out he's sick. He still did all that stuff till he couldn't move. So it's like, with us, we can't. It's almost like we gladiators in ancient Rome. You give us what we need, and we're gonna fight our way out of it.
Yeah.
No questions asked, no nothing. We just gladiators. We got it. We Conan the Barbarian. We got to do what we got to do.
It's good to make sure that. It's good that you said that, Conan the Barbarian, because I think that's where that culture comes from.
Yeah.
Superman. You just got to be tough and take whatever comes. But God didn't make us to be like Superman. Superman was like this. He was built to take punishment so the people don't take the punishment. He would stand in front of stuff and get thrown into a building because he knew he wasn't gonna get hurt. We're not like that. You know, we're not like that. We hurt. But the thing is, American culture, do you want to be like Conan the Barbarian? Do you want to be like Carlito's Way? Do you want to be like the Godfather, the guys that's tough and get away with everything? Or because if you do, you don't cry, man. You don't complain. You know, you don't say. Nope. I had a girlfriend one time who told me we were talking about child support, and I was sharing with her how that story about the 4 times going to court. She's like, y'all need to just pay the child support. Y'all just need to pay it. Stop complaining. And man, everything turned a shade of red, and I couldn't talk. I was like, how do you fix your mouth to say that after what I just told you? And it was kind of like so insensitive, and it was just, and it made me look at her as, I said, I think she kind of crazy.
Totally different. Totally different.
Like, now, it would, to me, if we just saw a movie where a man was beating up a woman, like let's just say The Burning Bed, and I say she shouldn't have gotten to bed, you know, or she shouldn't came home. He wouldn't have beat her. I made it her fault.
Right.
Then everything would have been
you like, would get massacred.
How did you say that? Yeah, but you can say it to me, and I'm not supposed to say nothing because American culture says, "Oh man, she just a woman. She just, you know how they get. You just take that." And I'm like, if you get hit in the eye, and then you recover, and you get hit in the guy again, that eye is gonna be like, "Hey, I gave it all I turned black just so the blood can be a cushion. But if you keep hitting me in this black eye, you're gonna lose the eye." And I just feel like I was hit in the same spot so much. It's like, why would you do that anyway? But I said all that to say that American culture groomed this thing where you guys cannot say nothing. Is you deemed as wussified or sissified just to say, hey man, that didn't set right with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You know, we've adopted.
Sad, though. It's real sad that you bringing up that conversation you had with your ex-girlfriend, and if you see the reels on Facebook and Instagram, or you see a lot of these women. I seen one woman, man. She this social media has ruined everything because she on social media went live, I think, on Facebook and blasted the dude because he just met her. He took her out on a little lunch date, whatever. That's their first little date. She mad, one, because they went to a little nice little spot and ain't dressy or nothing like that. That's number one. But number two, he won't buy her kids no food.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So what made me sad about that, was how are you counting this man money? Just met him. You don't know nothing about he treating. He trying to be nice. You complain about, I want to go somewhere where I can get this and get that. And he said, well, you ain't even dressed for nothing like that. What are you talking about? And she was like, a man's supposed to spend this and spend that. He said, where did you get that message from? I'm putting you out. And then you asking me to buy. Now what's funny is they had a female waitress. They had a waitress. And he was talking and she looking at the girl, nodding in agreement with him. Like, huh? So it's like, that's another thing that you put on a man. I can't even get a decent woman unless I'm spending $1,000 a night on her. So now you trying to build yourself up, which if it was me, man, you'd be eating on your own. I ain't finna spend that. I don't spend that money on myself. What you think I'm finna spend that type of money to sit down and eat somewhere? I do that for me and my wife on our anniversary, or when we want to go somewhere, or that's me and her. If I'm just meeting you, I'm not doing that. I can take you somewhere nice, but you ain't finna get that type of money out of me and I just met you. That tells me a lot about you. So now Nah, it's more I got to put on myself.
Yep.
And that's unnecessary. You know, unnecessary stress is worse than necessary stress because this stuff you shouldn't even thinking about.
Yes.
And they put it on you, and you like, what? What is this? And it's just my wife and I be talking about it because these women are something else. I can't believe that they did because she the one that sent that to me. I'm like, man, they crazy.
Aaron, there was a question.
Unnecessary stress you putting a man through.
What? Go ahead, Brad. What'd you say?
There was a question in the chat. Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it. I put up there.
Okay.
It says, hello, guys. Can you please share how your faith has impacted or changed your parenting and how you present yourself? That's from EW. Brad, how does your faith impact your parenting?
Well, my faith is all I have at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, because grew up in the church and having a strong background in it as well, and watching my grandparents, both sides of my mom and dad, you know, my aunts and uncle. I watched how their faith kept them through, even back in the 50s and 60s. You know, the stories they told us about, you know, how they were treated in America and as black men and black women. They had their faith, and that's what got them through. You know, prayer and faith. And when I say meditation, I mean reading your Bible, you know, Bible study, and you have to have something to fall back on, you know. And my presiding Bishop J. Drew Shear, the chief apostle of the Church of God in Christ, he says this: you have to see it before you see it, or you won't see it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm getting my way. What I'm saying is, I'm here. And the end of the tunnel is way down there, but I can see myself at the end of the tunnel. Just gotta get through it. Gotta get through this one passage. It may be a pitfall, it may be a steeper mountain to climb, but I got it. I'm going to get through it.
Yeah,
I got to. I'm going to.
See,
going to. I spend there. That part is
key. That's key right there, because let's just put it in two categories then. You got a guy who believes in God, and even in that category, there's subcategories, because you got guys who believe in God, but they go for what they know. They do whatever they got to do. You got Christian brothers who will rob because their babies are starving. But then you got Christians who actively use their faith because they know that stuff is going to come against them. And so they use their faith, like you just said. I see myself getting out of this. Like when I went to court those 4 times, it looked hopeless. The lady kept looking at me like, why do you keep coming back here? And I got a valid point if you let me talk. And they finally let me talk. And they were like, oh, well, that's a horse of a different color. And okay, so even then they would asked her, if you can give me a valid excuse why this happening, then everything stays the same. But she couldn't. And everything switched. But to match up with what you said, I visualized myself out of this. Number one is because I had a good, valid reason. Number two, if I could get to speak, you would hear it. So I knew as soon as I got to say something, I would be getting out. So that's a great quote. What was it again? You got to see yourself.
You got to see it before you see it, or you won't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then, you know, I was determined that my boys at the time, they're not going to see me fail at this.
Yes, that's a point.
I was determined. My boys are not going to see me fail going through this.
Yes,
and I talked to them and I exposed them to a lot, not been vindictive, so they would be safeguarded.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and I'm gonna tell you, it took some time for me and their mother to get it together. You know.
Yeah. Right.
But we got it together.
Yeah.
Easy to say, but yeah, our kids are watching us how we navigate.
They sure are.
Kids pick up on everything. I mean, small kids. I'm talking about babies. They pick up on everything. You come home mad, your mama not talking to you. They catch all of that.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And that becomes generational.
Yes. And then they're picking up, oh, this is how you treat your wife when you get mad.
Exactly. I knew a girl, man. I went out with a girl once, and when she got mad, she said her mom stopped cooking, stopped cleaning, stopped doing everything. Okay, but what about the kids? You mad at daddy, so the kids can't eat?
Yep. Been there. Been there.
Oh no, that's not right.
Been there.
I was like, I never understood that logic. You can be mad at me all day. My daughter and son's got to eat.
Yeah, yeah. And you signed up for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you'll be mad at me, that's fine.
Yeah.
When you're ready to talk, we talk it out. But not talking, 3 or 4 days is never good.
Yeah, right.
I don't care. You got to call each other every name in the book. Got to say something.
Yeah, got to say something.
Got to say something.
Well, go ahead.
My wife always tells me, and it's so true, and I'm not bragging. Everybody wasn't raised like you.
Yeah. Right.
I can't help that.
Yes.
My mom and dad, had she still been alive, they've been married 65 years.
Oh, wow.
I promise you, I've never seen or heard my dad raise his voice at my mom.
Wow.
One time. Not saying they didn't argue.
Yeah.
I never heard her say never.
Yeah.
I'm 60 years old.
That's a good thing because it's hard. That's hard to do, particularly when you feel like there's some slight going on and you want to make your point across, to get your point across. It's just kind of hard to do. But you made a great point about kids, and they're just sponges. They're just tape recorders, man. They don't forget nothing.
Right.
Even if they file it away. And one of the things, the trauma that happens with us as men that we don't let go of, and even if it comes out another spot in another direction, it can splash in your kids, and then they have that stuff in their heads, just growing up thinking something, and then you know how the devil is. He'll just try to make that something that is not.
Make it
and
normal.
You got to communicate with your kids to let them know, hey, I was wrong when I did that. I don't want you to think that was right. Here's my fault in that. And you have to do a whole lot of damage control if you ever let that stuff leak.
No, for the record, that's when I cried.
Okay.
Because I had to hear them out.
Yes. Yeah.
Pop, when we were growing up, this and that.
Yeah.
I felt slighted on this. I mean, you got to hear them out. You gotta like it, and it's not going to feel good.
Not.
I promise you.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate it. But you're gonna say, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah. Look, none of us know what we're doing when we start.
my pops told me that. He told me that. What did he tell me? Around the time that, like you, Brad, I had to hear my oldest 3 out, and I was talking to my father, and he was like, "You're one exceptional father." And I stopped him. I said, "No, I've been through a lot." He said, "Let me stop you. I don't know who told you this, but there is no manual on how to be a father."
None.
He said, and he said, as a father, you learn something new every day. I learn it. You grown, and I'm learning something new. So as a father, it's experience. You going through experience. It's life is teaching you how to work this. And as long as, and to answer your question, answer the person's question, if you allow God to actually lead you and not question and keep the faith in what he's holding your hand to walk through, he'll walk you through it. Yeah. Actually, he asked these brothers, ask Job. My favorite line in Job is, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That's a lot in that one little statement.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That means that no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it gets, God will take care of you if you have undying faith and trust in what you're going through, because he's not going to put anything on you that you cannot handle or he can handle himself.
Okay, so let me correct that. Let me correct that, because the Bible never says that he puts it on you. He says there's no temptation. Right. Okay, so he don't put it on you, but whatever comes, he makes sure you can handle that. Okay, but go ahead.
Right. So thank you for the correction. So I'm my point was, whatever you're going through, he's there.
Yeah.
And if he's there, and he gave us the right to choose.
Mm-hmm.
We have the right to choose. If we choose to trust him, he's there. Even if we don't choose to trust him, if you come back, he's still gonna take care of you. So that to me, in the end, my faith and my faith has brought me a long way.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to when I didn't have it. It's a totally different thing when I didn't have the faith, young, stupid, to be guy to do everything on his own, as opposed to putting my faith and trust in God. Now, who's to say you're not gonna think about or worry? That's the human side of us. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do that because it's in us. If our faith is strong, it will beat out that worry. Mm-hmm. Your faith in God is crucial, especially in the times now. It's really crucial now.
Oh yeah, this is the end. This is the end of days, man. Everything is turning up. But let me do this. Job, you brought up Job, and if anybody had mental strain on his life, was Job, because Job didn't deserve none of that.
Nope.
That was just like this little game that Satan and God was playing on this man's life. It was like, I deserve this. But he's not the one who went through the most strain. Jesus went through even more strain, and he had just got baptized, just got walked out the water, walked in the wilderness, and the devil hit him with everything. Like,
everything.
How would you like? And see, the Bible only talks about 3 temptations that he went through, but he was in the wilderness for 40 days. So he came with more than 3 times. And how would you like to live on this earth and you couldn't make one mistake or salvation couldn't come to us? That's the pressure that was on Jesus. Patty Cake got a question.
Right.
She said, hey, fellas, this is so important, guys. What's one thing you each can share to help a woman understand a man and their mental health struggles better? Wow. Hit it. Because I go first. I got
learn to listen without responding.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Learn to listen without waiting to respond.
Go ahead, Brad.
I can't put it no plainer. Okay,
so why is it important that she don't respond?
Because because once you respond, you're not listening. If I'm talking and you're talking, you're not hearing nothing I'm saying, and vice versa.
And I don't feel heard.
Right.
Yes.
He's got to feel heard. How was your day? So yeah, but but listen, you asked me a question. Let me tell you what happened. Yeah. Or better yet, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready?
I'm ready.
We might lose a few. If a question is asked, answer the question. No backstory. So I was thinking, did you do so and so? It's either yes or no. We're not difficult people.
Yes, we're simple.
We're simple.
Yes.
You do this. You take out this. You take care of this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no backstory. Mm-hmm. I don't want an explanation. Answer the question first, then give him the opportunity to ask for an explanation.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, Brett.
It seems combative, and you're trying to outthink.
Yes. And see,
that's just me.
One of mine is be truthful and not manipulative. Don't ask me a question trying to get me to answer the way you want it or try to get something out of me. That's manipulative. Just be, hey, I need a new dress. I don't know how you want to do it, but I need a new dress. Not like, don't you want to see me in a new dress? Don't you like this color? Don't do that. Just say, I need a new dress. And then that makes me think, because we're built to meet our wives' needs, and then our brains start going like, how can I get this done?
Right.
And so that's how we built. So let's get it. But I don't want to be manipulated anything. That's what the devil does. The devil manipulated. That's how he got Eve, manipulator. That's how he tried to get Jesus, manipulation, because he can always say, you did it. I ain't do it. I just said this and you did it. That's manipulation. That's one of the things I would say. Don't manipulate. Just be straight up. You know what I mean? What you got, Damon?
Listen with an open mind. Don't have your mind made up, no matter what. If I'm coming to you to say something to you, and we're trying to have a conversation about whatever that topic may be, that's what a conversation is for each of us to listen with an open mind. If you can't listen with an open mind, your mind is made up. If your mind is made up, you don't take the logic of the back and forth of the conversation.
Yeah.
And then when your mind is made up, it's like, well, what did you ask me for?
Right.
Because you already had your head where your answer was already in your head.
Yes.
There was no reason for you to come to me talking to me about this and what you think about this, and your mind is made up.
Yeah.
Listen with an open mind. Don't come already upset or already with your mind made up, thinking you're gonna conversate. What you doing when you do that is now I'm like this. What's the point? I can't.
Yeah. And you shut down. The shutdown process begins. Yeah. And that's what they don't want us to do, is shut down. But shutting down is safe. We already got to kill the dragon. We already got to leave the house and kill the dragon every day. But when we come home, we should rest. But if we got all that going on, it's like, where am I getting my rest? My rest is when I got to shut down. Oh, you ignore me, huh? Oh, you don't see me talking to you? That kind of stuff. It's like,
I don't do well.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do well with that. I don't.
Yeah.
Never have.
Yeah. I don't think any man does well with that, because what you're doing is you're making up your mind on something that we have a legit, valid reason to talk about. Hence, you going to court 4 times, Aaron.
Yeah.
They already made up their mind that this is what it was, until somebody finally said, well, let Mr. Hightower talk. Once you said what you had to say, they was like, oh, maybe we jumped to an early conclusion. Maybe we generalized. You know what I'm saying? So come with an open mind, come ready to talk. And that really makes a man feel like, okay, I got the one. This is the one from, this is a sign I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
To your point, I said this to a couple of our neighbors, Aaron to tell you, and I said this at church. If we have a problem, we can discuss it. But I don't go back and forth with my own wife. I'm not arguing with anybody else.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
Because it gets the meaning, and first of all, we're both grown adults.
Yes.
So I don't talk to my wife rough. So how you talk to your spouse, you're not gonna be able to talk to me, because I'm not gonna let you do it.
Yeah. We're
grown. If you got, if I said or done anything to upset you, I'll listen.
Yeah.
But all that all that other stuff. No, sorry, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because nothing good comes out of that.
And not at all. And I don't want women to feel like watching this that we're coming down on them. We're just talking about little things that happen in a relationship. Now, one of the things I would kind of caution ladies to is recognize when your husband is tired. Recognize when he's tired, and when this ain't a good time to talk about this. Pick your spots. Now, if it's very important, we just got to tackle this, tired or not. We ain't just gonna wait. If your kid is out there selling dope and you've just found some dope in the house, we got to deal with that now, tired or not. Right. But because he forgot to call the plumber, it's just kind of like, let me sleep this off first. And then, ooh, babe, I'm sorry. I forgot to call the plumber. Let me get on that right now. You get so much from a guy when he ain't bombarded. Because I don't think you know, there are single mamas who had to fight the dragon. My mama had to fight the dragon every day, and she came home tired. What we did as kids, when we saw her coming down the street, we ran down the street, took the bags out of her hands, walked her home, and got the heck out of the so she could have a whole house by herself. Let her unwind. So
I'm pat one for them.
Yeah, that's what we need.
I'm pat one for them.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say to the ladies that are married.
Okay.
Shoot your husband a text through the day. Hey, how's your day going?
Yes.
With hearts or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever how y'all communicate back and forth text wise. Hey, between the husband and wife, that's on y'all.
Yeah.
Something to make him smile because he may be having a bad hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a simple text, hey, just thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what would you like for dinner? You know, or something crazy. You know, I'm taking you out.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are over. You know, kids are tucked away or whatever. We're going out.
Mm-hmm.
Even nice, especially now that the weather's nice. Let's go for a ride.
Yes. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how relaxing.
Yes.
Not in rush hour traffic.
and the rewards for doing that for a man is like in outer space, because if I got that, like I come in and I'm tired and she is providing an avenue of relaxation, man, all I'm doing is thinking about recompense. I'm trying to pay her back for that. I'm trying to beat her, trying to make me relax. I'm really trying to make her relax because she got my back. There is nothing, you know, one of the people that comes to mind, two people comes to mind in my family about, and if you looked in the dictionary under the term, she got her husband's back, is Damon's mama, Kim, and our cousin Wanda. They come to my mind immediately because they got their husbands back. They know that he, you know, they're men. We got flaws and all that stuff. But when push come way to shove, or not even a shove, you got to deal with her before you deal with him. And I've always seen that. I've always looked for that in a woman. But yeah,
they definitely been bullish. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they got their husbands back, and that's a rare breed today. And I love to see them coming.
You know, my wife, she's got my back. You know, she may seem well mannered until when it comes to me, she don't mess around. She don't.
I can see that. She
does not mess around.
She can fuss at you, but ain't nobody else fussing.
No. Listen, we were talking about child support. The one time I went down there and they locked me up and they was gonna let me go the next morning. They got me out at 10 o'clock and said, "Sir, Mr. Your wife was in the lobby." It was 10 o'clock. Who gets released at 10 o'clock at night? They said she will not leave. He said, "You gotta go."
Yeah.
She was like, "You're not keeping my husband." No, she was like, she wasn't having it.
Yeah.
This is about 20 years ago, but
you have love and respect, man. Because there's nothing like real honest. You know, that statement that you always hear is so true when it's the right woman. That's behind every great man is a better woman. Mm-hmm. And what makes her that woman is because she continues to make her man great. Whatever the cost it pays, she's going to do it. And she's not going to allow anybody to tear her mate down. That's not going to happen. She's not going to put him in a situation where he can't get torn down, and she's not going to allow anybody to tear him down. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is what most men are looking for. They ain't looking for what you buy me, what have you done for me lately, they're not looking for that. Because in the end, like you said, Aaron, you going to do recompense. If you doing that, you ain't got to ask me, what have I done for you lately? You be like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? I can't believe you did this. No, you can't believe it. What you been doing for me? Of course I'm gonna do it. It's that right there. If you're married or if you have a significant, that right there takes all of that. That take Godzilla and King Kong off your back right there.
Yes, Damon, preach it.
That takes King Kong off your back. If your woman is that type of woman, she gonna make sure that you're comfortable. She gonna make sure that you're rested, you relax mentally, physically, and you got a great one if she do it spiritually. So it's like you get those three things covered. There's nothing really a man wouldn't do for a woman like that, because the stress is being released because your significant other is helping you. Now you can concentrate on your faith building you out. You never know what happened, that blessing coming, and you prosperous. Even when it was a couple, man, I'll never forget this. This was about a year ago. I was on YouTube and I was watching this couple, and the lady was saying that my husband did all he can. We got evicted. We got this. He was working 2 jobs, this and that. But in the struggle, when we got evicted, he kept me laughing. I kept him laughing. Yeah. He was to the point where we didn't even know we were evicted. And look at us now, doing everything we can, because our faith in each other and our faith in God kept us through. And look what happened. That was a heck of a testimony. I mean, they got kicked out their house. Their car got repossessed. They was living in a a rest stop. They was sleeping in a rest stop. They good thing they didn't have any children then. But the guy had some type of I don't know what skilled trade he had. But somebody came in the rest stop and he overheard them talking about something. He said, "Sir, you need that done? I actually can do that. I went to trade school for that." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And he seen his wife and sleeping bags. He say, "You staying here?" He say, "Yeah, I got evicted. My wife, I'm trying to find something to do." Long story short, the man ended up putting him in a hotel. He put him in a hotel, and the dude, I want to say it was something that had to do with painting or plumbing or something like that. He did this for this man, and the man, he did such a great job. The man put him on all his customers, not knowing that this guy was a big time executive. He had all this, and it just skyrocketed. It went through it was just a great story, man. And it was just how his rib was just that, his rib.
Yeah, rib. She protecting the vital organs. Yeah. So look, guys, this hour went by too fast. And we got to do something again like this after Father's Day. I want to wish you guys a happy Father's Day, because you guys deserve the best Father's Day gifts in the world. Look, we deserve gifts way, way, way better than this.
Look at this. This is so sad. Look at what they got for Father's Day. Cheez-Its. Frosted Flakes. Stupid stuff for Father's Day. Not even good stuff. Just a bunch of crap.
So don't get us Frosted Flakes draws, Homer Simpson draws. We don't want that junk. Give us some stuff that you would want. Give us some stuff that
do the research.
Yeah, what do you see him using all the time? Replenish that. But anyway, all right, guys. Look, I want to thank you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Shout out to Javid Jenkins, who got tied up. He's supposed to join us. Damon, you know you my little brother, man. I ain't got nobody closer to me than my little cuz, my little baby brother Damon.
I love you, that's always.
And my practical twin brother down the street, brother Brad. Love you, man. You always come through, my brother, man. So, guys, we're gonna take next week off, because you know why? Because it's Father's Day.
It's Father's Day.
And we're gonna take a week off from the podcast. Come back in 2 weeks with another blaster. Till then, be nice to a father. Take off the stress off a man, because we don't show it, but we go through it too.
Amen.
What's up?